Hello and welcome to my channel. Like everyone else, I have dreams and I want to achieve them. But how can I be sure that what I dream of is actually what I desire? My name's Alexander and today I'm going to review The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It was published in 1925 and is a short classic of about 200 pages. Plot summary. The story takes place in the 1920s and follows Nick Carraway, who has recently moved to New York and is living a comfortable life with the mega rich. His neighbour is a young man called Gatsby, who it turns out has moved there in order to chase the love of his dreams. It's a fairly short story, so it's hard for me to say anything else without spoiling too much of the plot. I must point out though that this is not a love story. The Great Gatsby is a classic, and so of course there's going to be more to it. I'll quickly mention two of the main themes: the Jazz Age and dreams. So, the Jazz Age, that time in the 20th century before the Great Depression. Now, the book itself was written before the Great Depression, but the author nevertheless had the foresight to realise some of the problems with the growing capitalism of the time, and is pointing out the enormous waste that is caused by rich people. The most obvious way in which this is shown is that people are having huge parties with copious amounts of alcohol, and yet no one seems to be having any fun. The Roaring Twenties were fuelled by the belief that money can buy happiness, and the author wants to show us how idiotic and absurd this belief is. So, even with all these material pleasures around them, most characters seem to be searching for something, to be wanting something more, and J. Gatsby is no exception. And this leads us to the second big theme: dreams. Gatsby has built his whole life around chasing a dream, and this dream has become so huge and impressive that when it starts turning into reality, it is bound to disappoint. It's about the clash between fiction and reality, that dilemma we all have to face. So tell me down in the comments, what is worse, chasing a dream and never achieving it, or succeed in your goals only to realise that it's not quite what you imagined? Because that is what The Great Gatsby is all about. Finally, I want to say a word about the way it was written. Unlike a lot of books, this one makes you think, and expects you to think. Not just in the trivial sense that it makes some good points that you can think about after you've read the book, but in fact, to fully appreciate the story, you ought to stop after every chapter and just ask yourself, hang on, what just happened? Is this normal? Because Fitzgerald isn't going to spoon-feed you everything. For example, if you're puzzled by how unimportant the dialogue seems in a certain chapter, it may simply be because everyone is bored and no one has anything to say. To work these things out, you as a reader have to do a little thinking. And that is the sign of a true piece of literature. Final thought on the book. It's a classic. And in fact, it's been named one of the best classics of the 20th century. So, if you like classics, you must read this. And if you're not into classics, I guess it's your choice if you want to read it then. Unless you're a nerd fighter, then you have to read it. TFTBA. That concludes my review of The Great Gatsby. Hope you enjoyed the review and see you soon.